Happy Wednesday, CCMP family. Pastor Jason here with you today. It's another beautiful day here in Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. Hopefully you're having a great day as well. Just wanted to bring a couple things up to your attention. It is a busy, I'll say it again, busy month here at CCMP. Of course, if you've been following along with us online or in church in services, you would realize that we are closing in. I think Lee on our messages on Sunday mornings has said it is 7 sleeps away. So we will close on the new campus on September 16th. And so we are full force in fundraising, support raising, building, all kinds of stuff, in addition to our normal things that we do on a monthly basis. So make sure you get a hold of the bulletin, you follow along on the app, you get that nice green circle up on the app, and then you follow along on the website, whatever you do, and make sure you stay up to date with all of our recent events. That's why on the app we just show you like a week or two at a time so we can say this is what's happening this week at CCMP. So make sure that you are with us, you are following along. And really I just want to encourage everyone that as we're in a busy season, it's in these busy seasons that I think that we really need, not that I think, we definitely need to be more intentional about our pursuit of Jesus. Pastor Snow a couple weeks ago as a part of this process really encouraged the church as a whole to pray and fast through this process. Pray and fast through this process. And I think that's important, but we need to understand why. And it's our need to pursue Jesus every day. Just before filming this, had an amazing conversation of talking about people who are struggling. And they're struggling because they stopped pursuing Jesus. And what ends up happening is when we're in the midst of a season where it's busy, we focus on all the busyness. And we stop pursuing Jesus. And one truth that I just want to lay on you before we get into the scripture today is this idea that you never get burnt out from how much you do. You never get burnt out from how much you do. You get burnt out from what you stop doing. You get burnt from what you stop doing, because I want you to look. We look at all the busy things that we do, but we stop pursuing Jesus. We stop pursuing Jesus. And that's what I want to do today. And I was looking and reading recently through the Beatitudes, and I love it because really this is a core question of who are we at our core. When our backs are against the wall, when it is a busy season, when there's a lot going on, what is our identity? It is then that our true fruit shows and our identity reveals itself. And I really think what this means for us, that's a high calling, CCMP, is as a church in this month of busyness, busy schedules, busy times, we're not going to be able to make anything. It's okay. Let your yeses be yeses. Let your noes be noes. You can't make it everything. I can't make it everything. And I have 3 kids and a wife that I'm going to take care of above everything else too. So let your yeses be yeses. Let your noes be noes. But in this season of life, we need to understand your identity shines in who we are as a church. Our integrity, our identity will be magnified when we come through this season to this community. This may be one of the most important months that we've ever gone through as a church. And I'm telling you, if we aren't people of integrity, we will come through this not smelling like Christ. And so my challenge to you today is we've got to be people of integrity. And really, I'm just going to read 3 verses today. I'm just going to read through 3 verses and break them down from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And really, I just want to look at the first beatitude. And I want to look at that today in Matthew chapter 5, really just because that is where we need to personally, that's where I start my day every day. I'm just going to give you a little lens into my mind and my heart. Every day I wake up. And regardless if my kids wake me up, 9 times out of 10, I wake up before they do and I spend my time with the Lord in the morning. But I wake up and tell myself, Lord, I'm desperately in need of you. I need you. I need you. I'll tell you, family, I've seen more spiritual revival happening in the month of July than I've seen since I've been back from overseas in China the last 4 years. But within that, the last week, I've seen and experienced a little bit more spiritual warfare than I have. And the enemy knows this is a tough and amazing season ahead of us. So let's jump straight into the Word. I'm excited. I got So Matthew is one of the Gospels that was, because Matthew is writing to a Jewish audience. So Matthew is the Gospel that many scholars actually think we have evidence that he wrote it down in Hebrew. So the book that I have here in front of me actually is that Hebrew look at the Gospel of Matthew. And so I'm going to use this as a reference to break down as we go through. So just the first 3 verses, Matthew chapter 5. Here we go. So when he saw the crowds, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. That's verse 1. And I love this because already we see Jesus, and what Jesus is coming out of is his first public encounter with non-Jewish people. So there's some Jewish people in the crowd with him, but he's just, if you would go back, I encourage you to go back and read this for yourself. Never just accept what I say as truth. Accept God's word as truth. But go back in chapter 4, and Jesus is preaching outside of Galilee. And so all of these, the majority of the crowd is made up of non-Jewish people, and I think that's interesting. Many times the people who are the most receptive are the ones who aren't necessarily coming to church, are the ones that don't know much about Christianity, are the ones who are the most broken. The people, a lot of times, that are the hardest to reach, like Jesus was reaching the Jewish people. Prior to this, he was in Galilee, and now he's outside beyond the Jordan. But a lot of times the people who are broken are easier to reach with the gospel than the people actually within the church. Cultural Christianity is one of the greatest blinders of our time. And so many people think you come and sit in a pew and you're good. No. So I love that Jesus is preaching to a crowd that is predominantly non-Jewish. But he's preaching to them, but he's coming, they're sat down, and he's getting ready to teach. Verse 2, then he began to teach them, saying, verse 3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. And that's verse 3, but I want to break that down a little bit, because there's a lot of, I like to call it Christianese. We hear these words and they're like, oh, I know it. And so we don't ever actually think about what they mean. And so blessed, we think of blessed and we use it like bless your heart, or we use it as a smack in the face of someone who does something stupid sometimes, like, oh, bless her heart, or she's amazing, but bless her heart. We use blessed as an insult sometimes here in the South, but we think of blessed like, oh, I've been blessed. I've gotten something, or I'm happy, or I'm satisfied with the gift that I've gotten. I've inherited or gained something that has made my life better. Like, we think of blessed that way. And I really want us to understand, though, like, blessed here actually would have been interesting. Blessed are they. The root word there is this beautiful word that you don't need to remember, but I'm going to tell you anyway. To weigh on, which means enriched, happy, fortunate, delighted, blissful, content, blissful, content, even blessed itself. Delighted, blissful. So, blessed. So, enjoyed, content, satisfied, delighted, to weigh on. You're happy, you're satisfied. Our English word blessed can fit here, but this original word gives such a deeper meaning to it. It means more like great happiness, prosperity, abundant goodness, delight. I experience happiness. Why? I'm blessed. So God's saying, like, blessed. You're happy. You're experiencing prosperity. You're experiencing happiness. You're experiencing abundant goodness. Peace, joy, right standing. It captures this amazing. It means to have the capacity to enjoy union and communion with God. So blessed. You are communion. You have a communion with God, a union and communion with God. So blessed are who? Blessed are the poor in spirit. That doesn't sound very good. Blessed are the poor in spirit. And so Jesus, what do you mean there? Blessed are the humble in spirit. In the original language, it would have read more like, blessed are you when you feel your spiritual poverty. Humble in spirit, which means to be humble, totally dependent upon God in everything. Not just in a sense of, I stink or I'm terrible. No, it's like, or I have nothing. It's meaning Delighted are those who have surrendered completely. Blessed are those who've completely surrendered to God and trust only in Him. Maybe the reason that you're struggling is that you've turned the things that God's blessed you with into God. Maybe you've turned your trials in front of you into God. And when I say you've turned them into God, you've passively begun focusing on those things, your comforts, your satisfactions, your things that your possessions. You've passively turned those things into something they were never meant to be. Or you've passively looked at your trials and tribulations. That's why people can turn into woe is me. It's so difficult and challenging, and we turn into whiny people that we've never been before, but we do it because that has become our identity. Just like in this season of busyness, if we're not careful, this will become our identity. Church, we can't afford for that to become our identity. Blessed are the poor in spirit, delighted, satisfied, people of peace, joyful are those who have surrendered completely to God and trust only in Him. Blessed are those who know that everything is meaningless except my pursuit of Jesus. All of my possessions mean nothing if I'm not pursuing Jesus, because I have to continue to accrue more to get the same feeling that they only could get when I was using them to give God glory and to give God praise and to give God honor. My trials and tribulations overwhelm me because I'm holding on to them because I don't trust God to take care of them for me. And we began to embrace other things other than God. And the enemy slowly becomes to dissuade us. And really, do we even have faith? So my encouragement to you is this. What Jesus is saying is here is you can find it, but you can only find it in Him. And many of you probably have heard this, but blessed are the poor in spirit. Every day I wake up and I need to tell Jesus, I'm desperately in need of you. And every day I'm encouraging you, would you join me every day, specifically in this month, specifically past this month until we close on September 16th. I'm poor in spirit. I can't do this, but I know you, and I know that you can, God. And then you will be able to experience the blessing, the peace, the joy, the right standing, the delight, what you were created to experience. This isn't prosperity. This is just a relationship with Jesus. And so I love you all. I hope this is encouragement. Would you join me as we continue to press in? But God has something that He wants to do in you and through you. But I believe that it can only come, not that I believe, His Word makes it clear it can only come from a lasting relationship with Him. If you haven't pursued Jesus, wake up today, wake up tomorrow, wake up Friday, pursue Him, and remind yourself, I'm desperately in need of Him every day. And then do it and get in and pursue Him. Love y'all. Have an amazing week. God bless.
1.
Happy Friday, CCEMP family. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you've been digging in. How have you been doing with waking up every day and telling Jesus, I'm desperately in need of you, and then pursuing after Him like you love Him. Like you love Him and you mean it and you want to know more about Him. I'm telling you, that is what will change your life. It's not about, I talked to a few students that I've been working with recently, and they're talking about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this Bible study and this Bible study and this Bible study. And I'm like, okay, I understand it. You want to pursue, you think that this is what it looks like to pursue Jesus, but yet the reason you need to continue to do more, and who am I to tell people not to do more and more Bible studies, right? Do as many as you want to do. But the only thing that will make and last is your personal pursuit of Jesus Christ in the quiet, in the private, because it's your relationship with God, not yours and everyone else's. All that can help and supplement, but it can only supplement just your personal relationship with Christ. Pursue Him every day, every day. Exciting weekend coming up here at CCMP. Ladies, make sure tomorrow All kinds of exciting stuff. We've got our campus cleanup going on at the community center and the new campus down the road. Make sure if you're going, volunteer. We need all hands on deck. We've seen some amazing things. I've heard so many testimonies about, wow, the campus looks amazing. The old middle school or old high school looks amazing. And that's the type of testimony and effect that we want to have. Wherever we go, we do stuff with excellence, and it should show. And it's showing, and we don't even own the building yet or the property yet. And even if we didn't, they're going to be blessed, and that's what we do as CCMP, and God's going to get the glory. And so that's tomorrow. Make sure you come out, check your bulletin for the times on that. Check the app. Make sure that's usually Saturday morning, early. Some of them will be there 7, 8 a.m. all the way till 10, 11 o'clock. They'll be working in the morning before it gets all hot and sweaty. Also, women's breakfast. Ladies, you won't want to miss it. Women's breakfast. They took July off for 4th of July, but they were back at it. I want to encourage all the ladies to come out, grow and enjoy. This is what we do. We don't forsake the assembling of the saints. We come together, we eat well, and we get encouraged together as a body of believers. And so come on out. I was encouraged last week by the men's breakfast. Ladies, I'm sure it'll be just as the same, if not better. Don't tell Bill I said that, though. Awesome new series from Pastor Snow this week. For 9:30, 11 o'clock. You won't want to miss it. Obviously, Kim in at 11. But it is focusing on the book of Proverbs in the month of August. You're going to love it. Honestly, one of the things that I've done in the past that's been really helpful for me is I've looked at a proverb a day. I've looked at a proverb a day. 31 proverbs in the book of Proverbs. I like that. That's a cool way to think of studying the Bible, especially in the midst of this series. So this week, though, Pastor Snow will jump into it. Book of wisdom, book of how to live, a guide to living a godly life. You won't want to miss it. And so I can't wait to see you. Have an amazing weekend. God bless.